everyone, today I'm doing denim finally. So this is the elusive denim that I have showed quite a few weeks ago now. So all I've done is traced out with tracing paper. So you can do this as well, but obviously you can't share it. But you can always trace out an image to put onto a cardstock to practice if you're not confident. Like I was showing you with the eyes from Jasmine in my eye demonstration. You can do that, and all it does, it enables you to practice something out prior to, if you don't want to dive in straight away. My whole thing is just dive in, just go for it, you've got nothing to lose. So I'm going to be using Derwent drawing these two, and the Lyra Rembrandt Polycolors in those 3 shades. And I will also be using, which you're going to need for the little ripped effect, which I was actually inspired by Susie for that. She did it on her jeans, but she did it in like coming down here and a bit bigger. I just did them smaller. So I'm not going to replicate this exact. I'm going to show you how to do the denim and how to do the ripped and all of the little stitching effect. So you are going to need the colours. In Derwent drawing, it's smoke blue and ink blue, and the Lyra Remembrance is Oriental Blue, sky blue and light grey. You will also need a Posca pen in 1M, and I'll show you the sets, what they look like. So the Lyra Polycolors look like this in the full set. The Derwent drawing in the full 24 set look like this. So you don't need to buy the full sets if you don't want to. You can buy them in singles at the coloured pencil shop. I'll put the link in the description. Okay, so I'm just going to dive straight in. So first off, I'm going to use the colour Sky Blue, and that's in the Lyra Rembrandt. I will zoom you in, and I will also take away the reference for now so that you have a good look and a good handle on what I'm doing. So bear with me and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's back straight away for you, but I just took 2 seconds. Right, so with my first lay down, I just want a very pale, faint lay down of blue. So I'm going to go over the entire area with the sky blue very lightly, and this will just start to put down some colour for me. Now, if you're going to ask me about conversions, I wouldn't be sure, because I've only done it with this particular combination, which I really liked. And the reason why I went for the Derwent drawing is because they've got a texture look about them, because they're soft and creamy. So I would say that they're quite essential in this combination. Now, I really like the way that the Lyra Remembrance also work. Now, I also forgot to put in there black, but black is your shading tool at the very end. So that's not until the very last part on each section. But for now, we're just going to put down the sky blue. Very, very, very rough. This isn't neat. This is just to put a base down. And as I said, this isn't how everybody does it. This is just how I do it. Now, each of these sections I'm going to treat like an individual one rather than one whole section, if that makes sense. So this is meant to be the cushion. So ignore that. That's just our reference. And just put in the sky blue lay down. So I hope you're enjoying these demos, by the way, and finding them useful. I've really enjoyed doing these kinds of things. Okay, so I'm going to leave that hem. You can also base down with something like a pro marker. You don't have to do this all in pencil. Okay, now we're going to start to put some texture up in here. So we're going to grab now our Derwent drawing, and I'm going to get the smoke blue, and I'm also going to start adding in where I'd like texture to start showing. So with this little area here, I want quite a lot. So this isn't how it's going to look overall. All the colours really work well together. So just putting down a good amount so that I know where I want colour to fade. So this part here is going to be faded on her knees. So I'm going to bring from this angle a little bit more texture into the middle. And the same with the very corner, but this is going to be my lightest area. And the very bottom, I'm going to bring some up from there. So this is your planning. The whole thing with the Derwent drawing is that you want them to look textured, and they are really, really, really good for that. So the same here, you're going to bring the Derwent drawing into this section as well. And again, I'm going to make out as if the knees, because they're stretched, are going to be the lightest. So I'm going to make sure that the areas there probably have the lightest approach with colour. So again, I think I'll bring up, use your creases as a depth marker, so it's where you're going to have a deep colour above and below. And you're going to bring back to this colour after. This is starting to look at now. I'm going to leave this area till after. At the moment we're focusing on these parts of the legs. Okay, now we're going to look at bringing in ink blue. I love this changes it. The Oriental Blue changes it entirely. So now I'm going to start to really bring in texture and build up what I'm looking for. So as I said, don't worry about this area here, that's a cushion. So this is where you're going to have to take your time. So you want that to show. Now, a build up of this, you're going to come back again. And you're thinking, oh gosh, yep, it happens again. Now there's a crease here. So you want that to show a depth. So leave that. Again, at the top, you're going to bring in that textured look. You don't want to smooth it out. That's the whole point. You want that bobbled look. You want that textured distress look. You want to look like you can touch it and it's going to be kind of like a rough feel. So it's always good to kind of plan out where you want your colours and build up the colours and map, plan, and you're good to go. So just gonna bring that colour up, and as I said, you're going to use others to fade out. So as you're coming up, you're really lessening the pressure. You're just building at this point in time of where you want your texture to be. So it really is a case of build. So when I sort of fade out, I'm lessening, I'm lifting the pencil off of the page. And this is real-time colouring and my explanation, so this isn't going to be sped up in any way. Okay, and these areas here, you might want to deepen those, but that's where I say at the very end you can bring in some black. Okay, so it really does start to look like we've got jeans on their way. So also here we're going to bring back smoke blue and sky blue and light grey, and that will complete that kind of look at the end. So you can use these creases as a guide to where you want depth. And I'm going to use the left side of the crease to be the dark area and fade up into the middle, and the very bottom by the hem I'm also going to bring that to just above the lines there. Okay, so you can start to look at this. Right, now, doesn't look like anything yet. Now I'm going to bring back some smoke blue. And this is where you start to merge the colours together. And very light approach with this, because these are a textured pencil, and this is why they are perfect for jeans and denim. Like perfect. Then the Oriental Blue will change this to the colour that we're looking for. So this will start to deepen and really look like jeans, because we're going to come back with our ink blue after. But you see what I mean by the change in colour. So very light approach on this. They go hand in hand with the Derwent drawing. Just it's a case of build up. It's a case of layering and building to the achieved sort of desired result that you're looking for. To achieve the desired result, it's a case of the steps and patience, patience in the bucket loads, patience and just having an eye. So what are you looking for? What is it that you're looking for on this? So I'm going to bring that so lightly into the whole of this leg. And the good thing with this, it doesn't have to be perfect, because jeans have a very distressed look. So that's the good thing, you're kind of heading for that. So use that in your mind on what you're going to do. And think about how you want to approach it. So again, see, it's brought that already. It's looking so much more like jeans and textured jean. So again, sort of going to bring that blue at the top. This part's going to be quite light. So now's our light grey, and that's going to be our mid-tone. Now this is going to go all over this area quite hard before we add texture with our other blues and our black, and then we're going to bring our Posca in. But bring that up, use that. This is going to be, you know, a build up. Okay, now you're going to come back to your Derwent drawing again. This is going to be your ink blue, and now you really want to pronounce that, so it's going to really start to stand out. See how that texture starts to really stand out? It's because you've put a heavy lay down of the Lyra Rembrandt, I think it was a light grey that we did there. And once you start to apply this over, it's going to look like it's textured. See, it really brings it out. It's perfect. It's perfect for what you're looking for. It's that look. So just very lightly, you're brushing the paper here. You're just sort of brushing it. You're not going heavy, you're brushing to give that texture. It's all it's doing, especially on these areas here. Now I'm going to deepen that part because that's against her knee, and the same with that area. That's going to be a deeper area. Same with here. So really look at where those areas, oh, don't worry about that. Look at where those areas are that you want to deepen. apply that in. Okay. And then what I'm going to bring back in is the sky blue. And I'm just going to put that here. Okay, so I'm going to pause you for a second while I go and grab any black. It doesn't matter what black you've got. So grab a black pencil and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I've got black. All I'm going to do with that, it doesn't matter what black you've got, is get any black pencil and just shadow up the areas in which you want there to be a deep look. So in my case, I'm going to go for here. Now I'm going so light, I'm barely touching. It's just kind of to make that seem like it's a heavily shadowed area. So just on these parts here. Okay, so next, all I'm going to do is grab a Posca paint pen. So give it a good shake, and you can plan where you want your ripped effect to go. So I'm going to do a little section there and a little section there. So I'm going to do bigger rips on this. So just think about how rips look on jeans and just add that in, see? And it really does have an effect, like a really young person would wear these ripped jeans. You know what I mean? Like the teenagers, they always wear ripped jeans. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna do. So what I'll do now is do this part again. So we'll go for the smoke blue. And I'm just going to make sure that I've got enough down. I know I've put it down, but I'm going to just kind of look at what we've got and add in. So I'm on a light approach on this. Now this is going to have a little bit more of a lighter section. Okay, so where I left off, I had a phone call. I'm back again. So we've got the ink blue from the Derwent drawing. And very lightly, look at where you want your texture and your light and dark to go. So just use this colour to kind of plan that part out. So this will be your texture again at the end, but for now it's just your planning pencil. So you're going to go kind of here, and underneath that section you can have a bit more texture, probably a bit deeper as well. And then again with that area you can use that and bring that texture up, and this area just very lightly use the colour to plan where you want light and dark. So we're going to use that whole area to be light there. So this is where you can kind of just start off building up layers. And just keep using a layering technique until you get the desired result. So just build, build, build. Just fade it out as you come here too, because that's going to be all very light. Then we're going to go over to the Oriental Blue in the Lyra. And again, we're going to bring in that denim colour. This changes the colour before we come back in with the ink blue. And that goes over the entire area that we've just been. just keep using light layers and build on each light layer. Keep building, building, building. And just let a loose hand roll over the entire leg area, because it's just building up on each section. Then I'm going to come over to my light grey and I'm going to apply that into my lightest areas. We'll sky blue in after. So you can just build on that. Now I'm going with a medium pressure on this area, and as you can see I'm just using circular motions on all of the white section. It's not going to be white, it's like this part, but it just keeps it as the light area because that's again going to have the rips. You can do small rips, you can do large rips, it's entirely up to you. There's a number of ways to do them. Then we're going to come over to our sky blue and that's going to go over this entire area again, but very lightly, and just allow the texture. Now where you've put that light grey down, it's added a base and it's waxy, so when you add on top of that now, that will automatically just be textured as soon as you put pencil over the top. Then we're going to go over to our ink blue and start to build up again now. Now this is where I'm going to deepen and it's going to start to change the look of it. So leave that, don't smooth it out because that's the whole point. It's meant to look rough and denim-like. It's not supposed to be smooth. So if it's looking rough, that's fine. That's what you're looking for. So I'm not pressing heavy, I'm just letting the pencil do the work. And as I said, all this area here, we might do a darker cuff. So you can do cuffs in any colours. On my other lady, I've done it in a mustard. It depends entirely up to what you're looking for. It could be pink, it could be denim, it could be green, anything, white. So you see already it's starting to really change the look of it. So I do want that to also come over here, but what I'm going to do is bring in some smoke blue and I'm going to build that texture up again. And remember, the Derwent drawing is what causes the textured look, and they really are the pencil on these jeans. I don't think it would be the same without them. I'm just going to bring back in a little bit more of the Oriental, and I'm just going to apply that a little bit more. And again, loose hand over it. And then we're going to come back to our, once more before we apply the black, we're going to come back to our ink blue. And I'm now just going to focus on where I want the deepest to be. So that's what I mean by build up. So it really does make all the difference to texture. Just a nice loose, when you hold it at the end, it is the lightest amount applied. Now what you can also do, which I generally do, is just add a little sort of stitching. Now black, I haven't got a card for this at this precise moment, so I'm telling you it's the black Lyra, and we're going to add some texture in with this. So look at where you want darkest areas to be and lightly apply the black into those areas only. And there is several ways to do denim. I'm just showing you how I personally approach it. Okay. Then you want a Posca white. And again, look, I'm going to go at the very top. So if you mess up, you can always scrape it off, it's good. Okay, so it's just, it really is great. I love this effect. So it's just going in lines. You can build on it. And then that stitching effect, use your white very lightly to make that stand out. And that is the two legs done. Now, how we're going to approach this next part, so I'm going to zoom you in, is a little bit different. So you're going to look at where the stretched areas might be. So stretched areas might be on the very base of the bum and at the very top of the leg. So that's where you're going to kind of look. So here we might have a deeper section. So we're going to grab our smoke blue for a moment. So very lightly just plan this out. So you might have a deeper section on this part of the bum. And then we might have, again, it's going to be a little bit deeper here. It'll fade. This part, definitely here will be the deepest. So you just plan out with this colour first. And then along the line will be deep. Same with this area. So think of when you sit and when you stand in jeans. When you stand, it's kind of divided. When they're tighter jeans, skinny jeans, and you sit, you're going to have a stretched area. So it probably will be lightest on the knees and lightest on this area where she's sitting and stretching out, and on the top. So just roll with that thought in mind, and that's where the colour will be pronounced, and on the creases, of course. So there will be a heavy texture, so we're only going to put a very light layer of it over the entire thing. It is a case of just build, build, build. And as I said, it's not going to be perfect, so you want that to be visible. Okay, so next I'm going to go over to my ink blue. Make sure you're in frame okay. Yep. And then I'm going to go here. And I'm going lightly to start with. And then same with, I'm going to put you there a second. Sort of here, because you're going to fade that anyway. And the same with circular motions, probably works best on this. So just because you can fade out a lot easier if you just work in circular motions. As I said, it really does work well. So I'm just going to zoom out just a second so I can get the full card in frame. So I just have to hold my paper a second. And then under here as well, probably have a little bit more, so you can deepen that up. And the same with here. Just again deepen. And with this line, you're kind of gonna fade that down as you come that way. So start with your texture, fade down. Start with your texture, fade down, and just keep with that same technique, fade down. And don't worry about any lines at this moment. It doesn't matter because you're just planning out your colours. And then we'll start to deepen as we go along. Okay, so now you can really start to look at this and think, okay, we've got a grip on where the colour's going to be. So you're going to start building up now. Same with this area here. Fade that out as you come into the middle, because the smoke blue, light grey and sky blue are going to come into action very shortly. So again, you want to see texture. You don't want it to be smooth, because jeans aren't. They have a heavy texture the whole way through. Now, there is also a book out there, a reference book that you can use called 101 Textured and Coloured Pencils. They show you how to do denim in the proper artist way. I'm not an artist, I'm a colourist, and I pick up these little things by accident, happy accidents of me testing out my colours. So I'm showing you just another alternative without being an artist and knowing how to do the proper, you know, techniques. And they've been at that years. I've only been at this 4 years, and I've only just done denim. As I said, I have very happy accidents. So I'm just showing you my technique. I've always said I'm not an artist. You know, I can only show you what I pick up. I'm a colorista. So, but I just really liked the effect, so there we go. Okay, so before we move on adding more of this particular colour, now I'm going to bring in some sky blue, and again Lyra Rembrandt. Now I'm just going to build up on the edges and sort of fade that out a bit more. So you will kind of smudge a little bit if you don't put a bit of paper down. Now I'm not, because I want you to be able to see the whole thing. But if you're doing this in your colour book and there is a bit more of a heavy wax texture, then grab a piece of paper and just put it there. So go over the entire thing. I'm going lightly, I'm not going heavy. Okay, so we will bring in the sky blue in a minute. Light grey. Light grey, ignore me. Light grey, not sky blue. We're using the sky blue, that's why I'm reading it. Okay. So now I'm going to go over to my light grey before we start building a little bit more and bring in the Oriental Blue and Smoke Blue, and yeah. So with the light grey, I want you to go into the lightest areas. And as I said, I don't want this perfect, I want texture. So you're going to use those big strokes, just all nice and big, and build up. That's what I want. I want to see texture. And that is by big circular motions. Same with the very top here. Yeah. Now I'm going to bring in my Smoke Blue before we put our Oriental in. And just with circular motions again, I want to see texture, texture, texture all the way. Now there's going to be a slight texture in the middle, so I'm going to do this lightly and build up. See, just, it really does make a huge difference. Okay, so now I'm going to get my Oriental Blue, And now we're going to build, before we do all our texture of the smoke blue and ink blue properly. So we're going to bring in the Oriental. And fade that out, so very lightly, because you're going to use that sort of to fade into the middle. And same with the light approach. So with this area here, we're going to come heavier with our smoke and ink and black, but for now, really want to put that Oriental blue in and build it up to this part here. Okay, and then the same with the very underneath of this line. Okay, now what I'm going to do is a very light, hold the edge of the pencil. See how it's building up now and it's looking like denim. It really does make all the difference. Right. Come back over to your ink blue in your Derwent drawing, and now I need a nice sharp edge. So a nice pointy edge. And now you're going to pronounce and really bring out that texture. So focus on that. Now I'm not pressing heavy. This is just now putting up that gorgeous texture that we're looking for. So circular motions, medium pressure, and really bring this to life. So this area here is naturally going to be darker because her leg is pressing against and making that like it's going to be a little bit darker here. So make sure that you show that in your colours. And the same with the kind of creases here as well. So just make that part stand out a bit more. Okay, so we're going to also bring a texture across. So this will be a bit more. So again, circular, circular all the way. And the same with these areas. So all these creases. So we'll bring that down. Now, if you're doing this, I'd work this way over rather than this way and put your hand through it. But for demonstration purposes, I'm just doing it this way. What's nearest to me. But I would really advise that you do it the other way around. What's furthest from you, and work your way up to what's nearest, so that you don't put your hand over your page and smudge any of the wax, because these are quite waxy. So now I'm just going to bring some of that texture this way. And again, sort of in this area here, those circular motions again, I'm sort of coming along. Okay, And then I'm going to bring in my smoke blue again once more, and I'm just going to meet the edge of that line that we just made. And just again, circular motions. Build up your texture and allow that bubble texture to really seep through. It's just a case of layer, layer, layer. Make sure you've got that look that you're looking for building up on your page, and until you're happy with it, then you can just play with it. And then once more we're going to go to our light grey and a medium pressure, just bring out all that middle area before we put the black in and add the depth. So really sort of bring that, especially on these areas here, bring that out. So it really does start to take shape. Okay, and then you need a black, and again I'm gonna be light-handed and add depth onto especially creased areas, and especially like over here, creased area here. So it's just a case of build up. So you're not going heavy at all with your black is really like this, you know, really light, not heavy. It's super light, and you just want to really accentuate all those areas that would be darker, especially here. Just go along that line. So, and then you can, if you want to, just very lightly bring that black up, yeah, and again sort of down here. Now it's a case of, for me, that's like a darker jean, and you can see the texture. I really like the achieved look that it gives. And then I'm going to sort of add where it comes at the top, like the top of her legs. Like it would be there. And then just going to add that stitching going all the way down. And that's it. Now, with regards to this section, as I said, it's entirely up to you how you wanted to do it. If you wanted to continue with that and keep it all denim, then you do. I've done it slightly darker, but all the same, it is more or less exact. I've just done this a little tad darker to show you. But I've done these as mustard. You can do them as any colour, so I'm not going to do those. The whole purpose was to show you the denim and how I achieved it. So it was just that, and it was those colours. So I'll recap. The colours that we used were sky blue in the Lyras, smoke blue in the Derwent, light grey in the Lyra. Derwent again was ink blue, and the Oriental Blue in the Lyras. So that was the two sets, which was the Polycolors, which were the Lyra Remembrance. And then we had the Derwent drawing in just 2 shades, so it wasn't many out of there at all. You don't have to buy the full set, you can buy the single sets, but they're really nice to use. So I hope that you found this other demo that I've done this week useful. Let me know what you thought and if it's something that you'll use. And remember, you can add the Posca, and all of your black is your deep sort of shading. And the whole thing with the ink blue is if you can always go back in and add a little bit more texture should you want to. It is so light and so individual to how much of this that you want to put on. But see the difference, it makes such a difference to shading. Now you can lighten it up a bit and do more of the light grey and less of the dark. You can do it even more washed out, where you only do like the edging, and you might want to take out the smoke blue and only use the ink blue. It's entirely up to you. There's so many ways you can do it. They're all going to work. So thank you so much. Let me know what you thought. So that's it for today's demo. I will see you on my next live stream on Saturday. Until then, you take care, everyone.